Creating groups. Creating groups is an easy process. What you're going to want to do is either under the course management area, you're going to want to go to users and groups, expand that down, and click on groups. Or if you've already added the groups tool to your course navigation menu, you can find it inside of here. They both lead to the same place. Just remember that in order for students to get there, they will need access to the groups tool. For instructors, they can have access down here to the course management and go into groups, but it leads to the same area ultimately. Something to consider before you create even your first group is to look at the group settings in the upper right hand corner. Under group settings, you're going to want to decide if you're going to permit students to create their own groups. With this item selected, students can create their own groups, although you can go in and you can edit them and modify them, but this allows them to create their own groups and have sign-up sheets for different students. Some instructors like this, some don't, and it really depends on your course. So make sure that you have looked at the setting, decided if you want them to have their own groups or not, and go ahead and toggle that. Also, you can permit students to edit student created groups. So if they've created their own group, are they going to be able to go in there and modify it and edit and all those kinds of things? So just think that through if you want students to be able to create their own groups and modify their own groups. If you do, leave these as default. If you don't, make sure that you come inside of here and you change these values. So let's go ahead and take a look a little bit further on inside of here. So let's go ahead and create a group. So to do that, we're inside of the Groups tool. We go up to Create, and in this case, we're going to do a manual enroll. The difference between a manual enroll and a self-enroll is that a self-enroll actually has a sign-up sheet for the students to come in, and they're going to determine which groups they're in. A manual enroll means you're going to be putting them in a specific group. And right now we're only dealing with single groups. In another tutorial we'll look at group sets. So right here we're going to do a manual enroll, and we'll take a look here real fast, and we can call this group A, and you would put whatever description you have for the maybe the fun group. How about that? So this will be the fun group. Is this visible to students? Yes. If you want to hide it, you can put no. You'd really want a special use case for that. And let's look at the tools that groups have for students. There can be blogs, and these can be gradable, and you can assign a point value. You can also determine how many entries need to occur before you're alerted that it needs grading, and this is a value from 1 to 50. In this case, I'm going to say no grading. There's also collaboration, which is a real-time text tool where they can move back and forth chatting with each other. It's not like a text message tool, but it's real-time synchronous chat inside of the system. Discussion board allows members to have a discussion board inside of the group area that's separate from the course discussion area. This is really confined to just the group, and only those group members can see it and interact with it. Email gives the ability for students to email each other external to the system from within the group. File exchange acts very similar to kind of like a Dropbox, where you can drop files up there. You can upload files, and groups can work on these files and download them and exchange files through the system. Journals are also allowed, and you can grade these or not grade these as you see fit. And you can set the needs grading status for how many entries before you're going to grade them. Next, students can create tasks within their group if you toggle this option. And finally, wikis. So wikis are again the same thing. You can assign a point value and say how often do you need to be alerted based on page saves. So as we continue down, are they going to be allowed to personalize the settings inside of that module? This means that they can rearrange how things look inside of there. And then next, let's also look at group options. Can they create a smart view? And what a smart view is it creates a little area over here on the course navigation menu. And that little area allows them to actually expand. In fact, maybe we'll just take a look at that here in just a second. It allows them to expand and really look into what's going on inside of these groups. So membership here, if I click Add Users, this is where I'm going to get a list of users inside of here. I can select 3 users, and how about demo student as well. And let's go ahead and put these in there. So these are the members of this group at this point. So let me go ahead and submit. Okay, so we have group A. We see that it has 4 members and it's all enrolled. So let's take a look at what this looks like from a student perspective. So I'll just use this student view tool here real fast. So now we're peeking in here as a demo student. And remember how I turned that smart view on? And that's what it's doing down here. So we can see the My Groups, and I have a smart view for a couple of these groups. When I click down, I can see all the different tools inside of them, and I can go directly to that group from here. If I didn't have a smart view turned on, what I would have to do is pop over to Groups and take a look through the groups, and then I could find Group A because I'm a member of Group A. Remember I talked before about creating groups if we had those options toggled. Let's go ahead and click into Group A, and we can see everything that we have enabled for the students. So I can see the other members inside of here, and I can see the different tools that have been enabled for this group. So let's return to the teacher view, and let's take a look at these groups. So again, to create a group, we went ahead and we popped into the groups area. And from here we went to create, and we did a manual enroll. If we did a self-enroll, it creates a sign-up sheet inside of there. So let's give that a click real fast. We can just take a look at this. And same deal, we'll call this group B. Description, and now this is one of the most significant differences between the manual and the self-enroll. So here is a group visible, and we can say that the group is visible, or we can say no, only the sign-up sheet is available. And if they click only the sign-up sheet, then they have to be signed up before they can actually see who's inside of the group. So here we have to come down, and we want to look at the name of the sign-up sheet, and you could put something in here. Say group B sign up, whatever we'd want to do, and you can determine the max number of users inside of this group. We can say 5, and here we can say show the members of the group or hide the members of the group, and this means the students may or may not be able to see who's inside of this group before they actually sign up. Finally, the rest of the options are the same. Let's go ahead and submit, and let's take a look and see how this appears. So now we have group B, which is a sign up group. Let's pop back over to the student view just real fast and take a look just so that we can see how this appears to a student. So we're going to go ahead and go into groups. Of course, I'm not going to have a smart view for it. Here's group B. If you notice, I can't click on it like I can on group A because I'm not a member yet. If I sign up for this group, we can say, okay, here we are. Great, I'll go ahead and sign up. And there we are. Now I am inside of group B. And you can see that now I also have my smart view, since that's something that I had selected before. So that's groups, creating groups in a nutshell. I hope that helps.